What was LZ7 originally?
Yeah, so LZ7 originally just obviously a band. It was based around the music, and I just finished a band called the Worldwide Message Tribe that then became the Tribe, and they were doing like inner city school stuff, and I just had this kind of like epiphany that when the band finished, and I just thought, well, actually, let's have a think about this. So I ran back in to see a mate of mine called Andy Hawthorne who runs the Message, and I just said, look, I'm not sure I'm supposed to leave this. I think I'm supposed to just change the method. I think the first thing I saw was like 250 young offenders, as soon as we turned the music on, just go absolutely bananas. And it was almost like they were screw facing like this, to like, blah, like spinning on their heads and you know, getting involved in stuff. And I saw the music do that. And that created a platform to then invite them to the church service on the Sunday. And they all came to the service on the Sunday. So I was like, yeah, something's happening here. So it started as a band, and the music is the catalyst. It creates the platform to be able to speak into situations that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to speak into, where talking stops, music speaks, and you know you'll hear that. But so me and Adam and Lewis and then George started a label, and we just kind of like started this thing, and yeah, that's where the music started.
What's going on, Mandela? How are you, man?
What's up, Lindz? I'm good, bro. What you saying? What you saying, fam?
Man.
Long time.
Come on, man.
And I remember Lindz had, you know, blonde hair, looked like Ken from Barbie, like, you know what I mean, with the blonde hair and stuff. And I remember playing basketball together, and our love for sport, you know, we're a bit of, you know, we're both lads and stuff. You know, God just kind of connected us, and you know, Kingsway asked me to join the A&R team, and they started a label at that time called OTR, Outreach Records, and so the calling on your life was amazing, you know, and I know that you were kind of like, hey man, I want to do some music, you know, I'm writing new stuff, like I'm getting all these ideas, you know, I have a heart for people on the fringe. And that's where Jesus would be, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we can be in church all day and create like a club and everything, but people are lost and broken and they need hope. And so it needs people who can take the gospel in that way and are talented musically, you know, and can be in that space. Not everyone can be in the spaces that you go. Do you know what I'm saying? Where we could be at a shopping mall, you know what I mean? Like we could be in a bar somewhere, you know, would always, I feel like, be able to connect with people on the fringes, you know, and could be in a club with the kids, could be in a school, you know. That's what I've loved about LZ, you know, what God has put in you, Lindz, the ability to do that, to communicate with people and love on people on the fringe, and then do it through music.
He was always on about setting up his own thing. You know, maybe God's calling me to head something up that's my own vision, that's my own project, using music as a tool to keep this gospel message and spread it as far as wide as I can. And we just find a bar or a coffee shop in Manchester city centre, just watch the world go by and just chat and just kind of be real with each other. And I remember there was kind of this frustration, but also this excitement for him to start something of his own. So I remember we got out a napkin and just having a drink together, and we were just chatting away, and we started kind of doing a spider diagram of his vision, his thing that he was starting to set up. I guess from that could then be different projects spurring off of it, whether it's prison, schools, churches, community, big festivals, mainstream music, record labels. It was kind of bringing everything together, but also centralized with this one vision that served it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I guess that initially was the start of Light, and that's how it started.
The Light team is made up of some amazingly talented individuals. In fact, they're that good that they double up on their jobs.
Action. There you go, that's an official one for you.
Hello there. 1, 2.
Illuminating your city, country and world, one planet at a time.
So one of our kind of touchstone phrases that we use in Light is, as family we go. And it's kind of teamwork makes the dream work. It's all of those kind of coined phrases, but it's actually true. And so we built an amazing team around us at Light, and each one of us doubles up on jobs. Everybody at Light is amazing at what they do. Kate fronts the band with me, singing as the girl kind of vibe, and then she's my PA. And then Danny is on tour with LZ and Saints, but then does all the merchandise. And they're just incredible. It's an incredible team to work with, and to be able to do this stuff with and for who we're doing it for is just mind-blowing. And we have some incredible people that join Light and stay for a season. So for example, you know, Lily Jo, She was in LZ7 for a bit and now started the Lily Joe project and absolutely killing it on contending for young people and their mental health up and down the country. You got Remy all the way from California who came and joined us for a couple of years and then moved back to the States and has started a photography business that's gone worldwide. Just incredible stuff. And so many people have joined us and freelancers that we use, Leon and Will and just these guys that you see on stage. They buy into the vision and they have their own jobs as well, but they buy in when they're with us and it's as family we go.
Music can like break down walls, and it's a massive part of everyone's life, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like I look back to my teens, 20s, 30s. Like music has always been like big live events, big music events, big gigs in stadiums. Ones like Coldplay, I can remember. Like music's like a universal language for sure, and the way it kind of connects people and yeah, breaks down walls, barriers, age, creed, religion, all that stuff. It kind of the way it can unite people and spread a message is like no other, I'd say. So yeah.
Like for me, if I'm at a festival or a nightclub or a big rave in a warehouse, it's seeing the reaction of people in the crowd when you play a certain type of music or a song that means something to them, whether it's the first time those two people met or had their first kiss, or a heartbreak moment, or somebody passing away that was close to them. Whatever it is, music can help people digest that and work through it. And when I'm on stage and I see people like, you know, you see people in tears when you play a song that means so much to them, or you just see people arms over. I mean, this is like they're in church or whatever. You know, they are literally hands in the air, looking up to the sky, so free, and all their worries, all their cares, or whatever's happened that week, put to the side, because for that moment they're just in the zone.
Yeah, so when you connect that feeling and the music works as that catalyst to inspire, and you couple that with the gospel, that is like one powerful, potent mix. Obviously the gospel always wins, the gospel is first, but the music just creates that platform to be a catalyst for us to be able to be in front of young people. And when the two come together, oh my gosh, worlds change. So Light's foundation is music, and the vehicle that is and the catalyst that it creates to reach young people. We started with LZ7 and then we just thought, well, we need to double this up because the work is getting more and we need to impact more. So we started Saints.
So Saints started about 3 years ago. I'd been touring with the LZ guys. We had a conversation, me and Lindz one day, and Lindz was talking about expanding Light and bringing in a new band and asked if I wanted to be a part of starting that. So I jumped at the chance and thought it would be really cool to start something new. And we've just been having a blast ever since.
Yeah, I've absolutely loved everything creative, from singing to dance, for creating media content. So I love now that I can use that passion and that desire to do creative things and bring that into my workplace. So it's absolutely amazing. I'm doing what I love, but also with a true purpose.
So the foundation of Light is taking the life-changing message of Jesus to young people through music. So music is where it all begins. We get in the studio, we get creative, and we start writing.
Yeah, so music is the vehicle. It's the thing we start with, and you know, we do writing camps and we bring in the best writers. So Solly and Lauren all the way from the States with us, with our staff, and Nathan C working in the mainstream world, and then Jimmy James who fully gets what we do and why we do it. Like coupling those two bubbles, the mainstream bubble and then the school stuff. And we'll write these songs, and it's written for young people, and it's written around a Bible verse, or it's written around something inspiring. And then we'll do it in a school, and then we'll build a campaign around that goes into the mainstream. So a YouTube campaign, a Spotify campaign, a club campaign, a radio campaign, a TV campaign. And you get people coming up to us just saying, yo man, you were in my gym on a music video, or I saw you on my plane as we landed, like you were on one of the landing videos, or I saw you on MTV or YouTube, or just, I've seen this stuff in places. And that thing, that recognition creates the platform. And then a young person goes, yeah, I've seen that and now you're in my school. Holy cow, I need to listen to these guys. And it just builds that platform. And that's why we do those two worlds. And it just starts with writing some songs.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah, I never wanted to really be like in front of the camera or like up at the front of church, doing like the traditional gospel preaching and stuff like that. That really wasn't me, it never has been me. But what I can do at Light is like take my skills of doing like media and photography and video and like use that to, you know, push the gospel message and also facilitate these guys to actually do it.
So everything we do on the media team at Light is to give Saints and LZ7 the biggest platform possible to go out and tell as many people about Jesus as possible. Come up with a music video concept, come up with the ideas, make the music videos. We then have to do all the websites, the social medias, get it on YouTube, promote it as far and wide as we can. We do all the merchandise, we do everything to get them on stage basically.
First music video ever, and she's surrounded by four of the loudest bikes on the planet, and she's nailing it. Come on, Dee.
It's totally awesome.
So the way that people consume music has completely changed. Back in the day, albums, CDs, all that kind of stuff. It's now streaming, you know, digital service providers, Amazon, all the way through to YouTube. The way people actually listen to music is different. Like you might listen to a song through watching a music video. And so basically what we've done is we've thrown all of our resources and effort at each one of these things in the mainstream world. So coming up with concepts for music videos, because I know that young people will gravitate to an image and they'll listen to it because they'll listen to the words because they're watching it. It's kind of simple stuff, but then putting Spotify campaigns together and putting resource behind this stuff because it basically puts a lamp on a stand.
When I imagined all these places, I imagine they're sort of just right next to the road, but they're actually a bit more high-key. You know, it was worth it.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick. Yeah, I'm loving life.
What a win!
Absolutely winning, mate.
Yeah, it's always really positive when we see our videos go big on YouTube because how big you are massively changes how quickly people will accept you into their school and how quickly kids will respect you. So when we have the possibility of having hundreds and thousands of views on YouTube, then kids immediately, you know, as soon as you come into the lesson, they start Googling who you are, YouTubing who you are. And although we don't do it to make our name big, when your name is big and when the views are big, the kids just respect you so much quicker. So you like instantly have that respect from the kids when they Google it and they see, oh, you're actually quite a big artist on YouTube. It just massively helps.
So all of these mainstream campaigns, from Spotify to YouTube to club campaigns to sticking stuff on TV as best we can, getting it into radio playlists, getting DJs, specialist DJs to remix it, plus the biggest DJs in the world like Radio 1 DJs. It's all for these most amazing stories that you're going to hear right now from all of our partners and friends from across the world. This is why we do it, and this is the lives that are changed by it.
And there's stories of people self-harming the day before, then coming and hearing the message or hearing the music and it touching them in some way. Even if they're not coming to faith or they're not open to faith, they realize that the spirit behind the music is different, and you can't knock that, you can't fight that. And then they decided that, you know, oh, I wasn't cutting, I've stopped cutting because of what you've done. You know, stuff like that it's real, and it's kind of, you can't make that up. It's whether they're making it up for whatever reason, there's a realness to it.
You guys came on with the drummer and the band and turned the whole thing upside down. Every single day in like 5 or 10 minutes, the whole atmosphere changed from like lazy school boys being there, don't want to be there, to crazy party. And they always respond like crazy, crying. So yeah, I remember that from the school tours.
Yeah.
It was like this very small, crazy thing that changed a lot of lives.
This is one young person who, well, we showed up to this pupil referral unit. We'd never been in this school before, and we took the band in, took the Illuminate guys in, and there was this guy who just really connected with it. You could just see he was like, he loved the music, nodding along, stamping his feet, like just really got it. And then at the end, Lindz gave this opportunity to like ask any question you want. And so this kid stood up and was like, I just want to say, this is the most amazing assembly I've ever been to in my life, and it's totally transformed my life. And sits back down. And like the team were all just in, like, it was so emotional. They're in bits, like it was super moving. Partly because of the school we were at, but also it was just, you could see how much it meant to this one young lad. And it's totally worth it just for that one guy. Anyway, assembly finishes, and we're saying bye to teachers, and assistant head spoke to us, and assistant head said it was that young person's first day at that school. Like, can you just imagine? Only God knows that, like, that's the moment for him. I don't know what his background is. I could guess what he's been up to. You know, I could guess some stories of why he's ended up in a pupil referral unit, but he has. On his first day there, on a Wednesday, in the middle of the autumn term, we rock up with this band, and he gets an opportunity to just see that his life's got purpose and hope. And I can only believe that God set that up that day. And he showed up at the end of the week to the big gig, came along to Youth Alpha, like, just really encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, you always had, you had this story of a girl you met in New Zealand, right? And you were talking about this girl with red hair and black clothes. And so you shared this in the school tour, in this program, and when this was over, I turned around and there was a girl with black clothes and red hair, and she was crying. So I, asked her, I said, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? She said, no, I'm not. And I shouldn't be here because I don't go to school, but I had to show up here because it's our Easter celebration. And Lindz he told this story about the girl, but that's my story. I remember it like yesterday, So and then we ended up praying for her, and it really turned her life upside down.
We even had a young person that sent me an email the following day to say that they'd felt so lonely up to that moment, but it really realised and resonated to them from the message they shared that they mattered. That they really mattered in this world around them. And actually, it had made a change and difference in terms of their mindset of wanting to cause harm to themselves, and actually how they could manage themselves moving forward.
Myself, Lindz and the team, we went up and chatted to this guy, and we just began to encourage him, saying, do you know what? You're a champion. Life is worth living. You're meant to be here. And again, wow, he just sobbed in front of us. And he began to share about all these difficult situations that he was going through. He was experiencing a lot of bullying, and life was just tough for him in school and at home. And as we started to encourage him, you saw his face start to light up. I absolutely love that when we go into schools. If a student is struggling or things are brought to the surface with their emotions and feelings, as soon as we start encouraging them and speaking life over them, their eyes light up. It's like something's changing on the inside of them. And that evening, we shared the gospel, and he was one of the first people to put his hand up and say, yes, I want to put Jesus in the driving seat of my life. My past has been really hard, but actually I want to live life on purpose. I know that there's a plan and there's a purpose for my life. And that was beautiful to see and so amazing to be part of that journey.
I'll come across people having been in schools work for many years who will say they can remember when they were at school and maybe it was issues to do with self-harm or depression or anxiety, and then something that was said connects. And even today, as we're filming this, a couple of youngsters you could see visibly as Lindz was sharing about some real issues, just helps connect and put youngsters, our precious young people, in a better standing. Just brilliant.
I remember being in Finland once. Remember that? Like we did that, and there was someone who was going to commit suicide. Was it Finland? I'm sure.
Yeah,
Finland.
that's right.
And they'd come to the gig, and they'd heard, and I think they wanted to take their life or something that night, and they'd heard that Jesus, they'd come to this gig that we did in Finland, and they decided to give their life to Jesus and totally turned their lives around. I mean, I was thinking, man, okay, this kid who must have gone and, taking their own life, and but because Lord, we were obedient to be there that night and to say yes to what you called us to do, that turned everything. And it's not because of anything that we did, it was being obedient to share the gospel and to tell people about Jesus. And so for me, that was a crazy moment between life and death, for someone. And so it just brought so much value, to what you do, right? Like, and to what we do and the responsibility that we have, that we carry, to share the gospel and tell people about Jesus and that he can give them life, and life to the max. So.
Where do you even start?
Here we go.
I don't know. I remember we were leaving the arena. We were going out to get some air after the Finnish bands. And then we were in the hallway already out, and we heard the intro, and I think it was Party Rock Anthem back then. And me and my friend, we stopped and we looked at each other and we started screaming and ran straight back. And we were just partying, having so much fun the whole gig. But the thing that I remember the best was, I just felt something change in me, and I didn't know what, and it took years to understand, but something happened. And yeah, it's really, I'm still here. Well, it changed everything. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And if it wasn't for the music and you guys and the whole story. Well, after that first mother, something really went wrong in my life, and things started to go down. And in half a year I had stopped eating. I didn't eat anymore because I hated myself so much. I felt like everyone in my life were leaving and I was left all alone. And I didn't see any point to go on. And yeah, I felt so lonely and I didn't know what to do next. And I remember the night that I was like, yeah, this is it. I was with my brother, so I wasn't gonna do it, but I just knew that if something isn't gonna change, this is it, and I'm gonna end it all. But then 2 weeks later, you were back. And that was, I remember I met you the first time at that festival. And yeah, you hugged me so tight and I felt like something, yeah, someone cared. And I know that it was God who used you to do that. And I've seen it so many times after. But ever since, I've always been a crazy fan and I've traveled the world and I've got to know so many amazing people all around the world. And just whenever it's been hard and things have gone wrong, you've been there And that's how I know it's God, because how would it happen any other way? Like, you're just random people from Manchester. How to explain it, but for me the message has always been like, you matter, like you are important, you're there for a reason, like you have a future and destiny and you're going somewhere. And as a person that has felt like that's not true and that hasn't seen that, the music has given me so much comfort. And like, it's just like, there have been so many times that I've gone to a song like Whoever Said, and just like to hear that whoever said you couldn't do it, that has like made a change. And I don't know where I would be if like those things hadn't happened, because life would be so much different. God has spoken to me through the music.
My name is Lindz, and the Netherlands is my second home. I love you guys and girls. I only know 2 phrases: hou je handen in de lucht, adem springen. But you know what? Even though we speak different languages, we serve one Jesus. So if you believe in that, you see, hope, the hope of the world lies on us to be the hands and feet of Jesus. So when you walk out of here, EO, you can change your world when you put hope on the inside and then you express it on the outside, and that changes everything. Hope has a name, and his name is Jesus. And I don't know whether someone has come in here feeling so bad that they want to give up on life. Never, ever give up. There's a God. The Father in heaven is the father to the fatherless. He's a brother to the brotherless. He's a sister to the sisterless. Hope has a name, and his name is Jesus. Put your hands in the air.